What's good, peeps? Thank you as always for passing by the channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. Don't forget as well, please, to like and share the vids. It really does help the channel a lot. All right, a couple of quick things before we start talking boxing. Well, first thing first, coffee. It just gets me going through the video. All right, yeah, Addy and friends. I did say that I was going to do a couple of episodes this week. I've just been so busy. Like, I can't lie to you, I've been so busy. You guys know that I normally try and do at least 2 a week. I did want to do one on Thursday and one tomorrow. I might still be able to do one tomorrow, but I've just been super busy. So apologies for that. My schedule is blank next week, so nothing on. I say now, Sky, the way Sky works is that they normally call you like the day before or sometimes on the day. So right now it's empty. And so my plan is to do as many as possible next week, maybe 2 or 3, because there are some good subjects to talk about. So yeah, Addy and friends next week, 100%. The other thing is small businesses. If you guys didn't watch the last video, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but I am wearing this hat in support of my friend's small business. He's got a hat business called Dominant One, link in the description. Some really cool hats there, by the way. But I did say that I want to shout out other small businesses as well. I have received a few emails. Guys and girls, if you could just send me like a screenshot of your business, it would help. So I don't know, business name, email address, website if you have one. I know a lot of small businesses don't, but you should have one, and phone number. So when I'm talking about your business, I can just put the screenshot up of it as well. So it's just easier. So if people want to get in touch, they can very, very quickly. I have seen a couple of businesses already that have reached out, a plastering company. I'm just saying it so you know I've seen your email. An author's reached out. Again, I've seen a couple more as well. But if you can send a small screenshot of your business, it would be a lot better. Thank you. And we'll get that done as soon as you send them over. We'll make a video about it, 100%. All right, let's talk some boxing. Oh, here we go. CHAVEZ Jr. suspended indefinitely by Nevada and Arizona commissions. Are we surprised? No, we're not. I feel like his career is going to be remembered more for things like this than what he done in the boxing ring. And he was pretty good in the boxing ring. I mean, this guy was a world champion, legit world champion as well. But it's a shame. It's a shame where it's going now. This suspension dates back from October last year when, I don't know if you guys remember, the story of him running away from drug testing. He did that, people. He did that. But this is where you know boxing's a bit effed up. They still let the fight go on, right? He still fought Danny Jacobs in December, and now he's suspended indefinitely for that. It's a bit dodgy, innit? It's just, so that's boxing. I'll be surprised if we ever see CHAVEZ Jr. in the ring again. Look, get in, get rich, get out, right? I mean, this guy's made a lot of money. He's made a lot of money. He doesn't need to box. I mean, he never needed to box in the first place. This is why I give him a lot of respect. I know he gets a lot of stick, but I always feel like boxers, I feel like they need to come from hardship. I don't know why. I feel like most sports people do, if I'm honest with you, but boxers in particular need to come from hardship. This guy came from Mexican royalty, right? Mexican royalty, dad multi-millionaire. His dad probably one of the most famous people in Mexico. I don't know. I just rate him for achieving what he achieved, if I'm honest with you. I really do. And he had a deep career as well. I mean, I'm guessing he must have fought at least 50 or 60 times. Let's have a quick look. How many times did CHAVEZ Jr. fight? He's 34 now as well, so he's definitely not fighting again. So he fought 56 times. I mean, yeah. I know some of those, well, a lot of those were gimme fights, but he fought 56 times. So I don't think we're going to see him in the ring again, which is a shame. Well, it's not a shame, actually, because right now, people are calling him out just because he has that name value and he still brings big money to the boxing ring. That's why everyone calls him out. They're not calling him out because of a tough fight. Like when Danny Jacobs called him out, it wasn't because, oh, you know, this is going to be a tough fight. And no, just because it pays. And that's the reason. So right now, if that's why he's fighting and he's not going to win these fights, then no point. No point at all. All right, what else have we got here? I saw something. I hate what I'm doing right now because I'm kind of skipping. But I saw something where Terence Crawford says, that's it, it's right at the bottom here. I'm not taking a pay cut. It's in my contract. This is interesting. And this is going to be a problem. I like Terence Crawford. You guys know I like Terence Crawford. I think Terence Crawford is no worse, than top 3, top 4 pound for pound, right? I mean, if you have Loma ahead of him, no argument. If you have Canelo ahead of him, no argument. If you have a Niue side by side of him, no argument. But that's it. You can't mention. I know people might say people like Estrada and others, maybe. But for me, top 3, top 4 pound for pound. The problem with this is he has to understand where we are right now. I think most boxers coming back will have to take a pay cut, no matter how big you are, right? If there are no fans, and it looks like there won't be, especially in America right now where COVID seems to have spiked again, so it looks like America will go into lockdown again. If there are no fans, then what can you do? What can you do? And he's not the biggest draw either. But, you know, maybe he's got a point, right? You know, in my contract it says 5 million, pay me 5 million. But the issue with that is that they might pay Crawford his money, but then they're definitely going to have to go lowball with his opponent. They're going to have to do it. It's similar to what they're doing with Canelo. Although Canelo has said he will take a pay cut, and it looks like Canelo will take a pay cut, we're already seeing the level of opponent he's trying to get now. I mean, it's gone down to the John Ryders and the Jason Quigleys. And again, this is not me being disrespectful to those names. But, I mean, look at the names we're hearing first. So we were hearing Billy Joe Saunders as a front runner, Callum Smith. These guys are 2 world champions, right? Unbeaten world champions. And now it's dropped down to Jason Quigley and John Ryder. And I feel like that's going to happen with Crawford. The only problem with Crawford is that I think his level of opponent now already isn't great. That he's not fighting names, is he? So if he's not fighting names now, what's he going to fight if he doesn't take a pay cut to almost entice one of the big boys? I mean, he's going to be... Who's he going to be fighting? Who is Crawford going to be fighting next? This is the problem. This is the problem. I sometimes feel like he's a bit like John Jones, isn't he? Like, John Jones in the UFC is, I think, the greatest MMA fighter of all time. And he thinks he should be paid like the greatest MMA fighter of all time. That's not how it works, though, is it? You get paid. This is entertainment sport. You get paid by how many people want to tune in, how many bums and seats you can get. And I feel like Crawford must be thinking that as well. Like, I'm a pound for pound, number 2, number 3, right? I'm a freeweight world champion. I ain't taking no pay cut. I deserve this. Look at me. I deserve... Well, unfortunately, maybe you don't, because you don't bring in the money. Am I making any sense here? I'm a bit tired. That's an excuse for chatting shit. I don't know. I just feel like if Crawford doesn't take a pay cut, then his level of opponent, especially if they don't have fans back in arenas until next year, his level of opponent is going to be poor. It's going to be so poor. And that's not good. That's not good. I don't know. He's talking about fights against Manny Pacquiao. That's not going to happen. Ain't going to happen. I don't know who he fights next. But if they're going to have to lowball his opponent, so if Crawford does fight behind closed doors, so we're talking no fans, it won't be pay-per-view either. Yeah, it's not going to be pay-per-view. Can you imagine the state of his opponent? Can you imagine what opponent it's going to be? They're going to have to literally go and find someone in the top 30 or someone that once was a name. That's why I said the Kell Brook fight makes sense, but I don't know. I don't think they can even afford Kell Brook at this stage, if I'm honest with you. It's a shame. All right, let me stop skipping and have a look at what we've got. I mentioned this earlier. Quigley motivated. I'd go in there and give Canelo hell. So Quigley is saying, I saw an interview on Sky Sports, he's saying he's been offered the fight. Like, he's been offered. He said a lot of other people have been offered as well. I'd like to know who these lot of other people are, but he's been offered the fight. To be fair to him, his record isn't too bad. He's 18-1, and that one was against Terence Johnson, which was somewhat of an upset. He's former NABF champion. No. I mean, if Canelo fights him, I'll be very, very disappointed. I mean, I'm not super pumped about John Ryder, and this is a level down from that, as far as I'm concerned. Has a bit of name value in America. He has been fighting out of America for a long time, but no. It's getting silly now, isn't it? It's getting silly. Well, this is silly. This is silly. I mean, why hasn't Demetrius Andrade's name been linked or even mentioned in this? Why? He'll step up. I think we all know he'll step up to 168. Happily step up. His name's not been mentioned at all. Find that strange. Find that strange. Unbeaten 2-weight world champion. Awkward. Southpaw. Don't know. I think we get too excited with that Southpaw talk, but he is Southpaw. I don't know. All right, let's have a look. What else can we talk about? Michael Conlan versus Sofian Takouche in play for August 15th. Takouche is not great. I thought Michael Conlan was going to fight Ruben Villa for the vacant WBO strap, but I think because he's stuck over here, maybe not, but that'll be a good fight, providing he gets past Sofian Takouche. We'll see. All right, what else we got? Top-ranked plans for Tony Yoka on hold until travel restrictions ease. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what happens with Tony Yoka. I feel like I talk about him way too much for someone that hasn't done a great deal. I think he's good, but I can see how people like Ade calm down. Let's see him in against someone first. Agreed. Let's see what he can do. Plus, he's still got that drug issue, I think, over him. I don't know if you guys know, but he did miss 3 tests. I'm sorry. He missed 3. Something's up. You missed 1. You missed 2. You missed 3. Something's up. Something's up. Felix Verdejo got a win, didn't he? First round stoppage. Now he's saying stupid things. I want revenge versus Lomachenko for what happened in the Olympics. Calm down, Felix Verdejo. You got the win. It's so difficult for me to give someone major props for a first round stoppage. I don't know. That's wrong, right? I should give him props, but I'd prefer to see a few rounds so I can see him kind of figuring things out, maybe having to switch things up a little bit. Sometimes a first round stoppage is like, it's hard, like, you know, even for a boxer. I mean, look, no boxer wants to go overtime, but you've been working on things. You must want to show what you've been working on a little bit. He got the first round stoppage. Let's see him in against a couple more guys before he starts saying ridiculous things like Lomachenko. Again, I was very high on that kid. That's why I'm a bit cautious with him now. So let's see. I don't know if there's much else to talk about. There's so much Fury, Wilder, Joshua here, and I'm not talking about any of that crap for now. Let's see. Callum Smith here says, on Canelo, you want a fight people would tune into, you have to pay. Don't know. Is that a fight people will tune in? I mean, is that a fight? Over here, they'll tune in. Over here, no doubt. Is that a fight, though, in America? People will like, oh, anticipation. Let's tune in for this one. I don't know. I don't know. Like, sometimes I feel like I maybe overly disrespect Callum Smith. I just don't know if the American public know who he is. I mean, it'll be good, though, because they'll read out his credentials, and it will say ring recognized #1. He's got that belt, right? He's the WBA champion. He's the diamond belt champion. So those credentials sound great on paper, but I just don't know that the American public know who Callum Smith is, and I don't know if that will increase signups. Not sure it will. I'm not even sure Billy Joe Saunders will. I just want to see the Billy Joe Saunders fight from a stylistic standpoint. And look, I would much prefer to see Callum Smith than the names that we're hearing, right? The John Ryders of the world and the Jason Quigleys, or even the Anthony Durrells, or even the David Lemus. I would much prefer to see an unbeaten fighter take on Billy Joe Saunders, take on Canelo. I would much prefer it. But I don't know if what he says rings true. I don't know if it's you want to fight people will tune in for. I don't know how many people will tune in for that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Like at this stage, I feel like just because he's more known in America because of the fights he's had against American-based fighters, I think David Lemieux could do better numbers. Charlo would definitely do. I think, of all the people in and around 160, 168, I think Charlo might do bigger numbers even than GGG. I think Charlo Canelo will do bigger numbers than GGG. But obviously Charlo's got Derevyanchenko, which kind of leads on to what's going to happen to Chris Eubank Jr., right? Because Chris Eubank Jr. wanted the Charlo fight. That was the plan, right? He beat Korobov. You get Charlo. Korobov fight was a dud because Korobov got injured. So now Chris Eubank Jr. is in, like, I don't know where he is. Where's Chris Eubank Jr. right now? Who's he going to fight? Boy. Who can Chris Eubank Jr. fight? Chris Eubank Jr. just got his ass back to the UK and fight Callum Smith or Billy Joe Saunders. All right, I'm digressing a bit here, aren't I? All right, anything else before we pack up? Ricky Hatton, I feel a little bit cheated in loss to Floyd Mayweather. Let's click into this to understand exactly what he's saying. Oh, he's annoyed with the officiating. There was a bit of that. We know that Hatton likes to do his work on the inside. But that's almost a disrespect to Mayweather. Mayweather can fight on the inside as well, but Hatton's, that's where he needed to get. And every time he got close, I remember Joe Cortez just breaking it up. And I was like, come on, man. Come on. I'm a big fan of both, but I was like, this is how Hatton works. Hatton works on the inside, dirty boxing. This is how we beat up Costa Zoo, right? That inside work. And Joe Cortez didn't let him work. But regardless of that, he ain't beating Floyd Mayweather. He worked like... Floyd Mayweather was just far too slick for a fighter like Hatton, especially back then. Just far too slick. I don't ever remember Hatton having Floyd in trouble for any second of that fight. Any second. That Floyd, just a bit special. So, yeah, I mean, look, you can reflect on it, right? Ricky Hatton's only got 2 losses in his career to Floyd and to Manny. It's not bad. It's not bad. I expected a bit better in the Manny Pacquiao performance. But that Manny Pacquiao then, whirlwind. And he hurt Ricky early in that fight as well. Ricky was trying to do something. I don't know, remember that was the time he was trained, I think, by Floyd Mayweather Sr. And he tried to adapt to a new style and Pac-Man just ate him up. So, yeah. But no, he's not beating that Floyd, regardless of officiating. Even if he could work inside. Floyd can work inside. Obviously, Floyd likes to do his stuff at distance. And then start to kind of move. But Floyd's such a good counter-puncher. He would get... The way he caught Ricky Hatton coming in and that check hook, he'll do that all night. Do that all night. So inside, outside, wherever. Car park. Well, maybe not car park. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Peace.